the Cowboys team right now, they're playing a brand of football, and I know what the narrative is, right? I've tuned in this morning on some of the national shows, and the repeat narrative is always going to be, well, the Cowboys aren't playing anybody. But I'll say this. I'll say this: you can only play who's in front of you and who puts on the schedule, right? This isn't like you're going down to the local YMCA and say, I'm going to play him next or I'm play them next. You play who's in front of you. But I will say this: they are doing what superior teams are supposed to do to inferior teams. And I can say that and I know that football is a weird lady, and I've said that on many occasions, but if we're going apples for apples and oranges for oranges, the same teams that we're beating the dog piss out of, those other teams that you may quantify or feel as if they are better than the Cowboys aren't. They're winning, but they aren't winning in the fashion of which we're winning. And for whatever reason, that sometimes gets missed, that sometimes get deliberately ignored, but it is what it is. And 45-10 is what the results were supposed to be. I said in all my shows coming up this week, I said this was a time where the pass rush should get home, the pressure should get home, and you should make Sam Howell feel really uncomfortable, and the turnovers will come. They sacked him 4 times. He had 1 interception. We'll get into that interception later on. But those things were transpiring. And a lot of times, even though the results was a blowout results, it kind of took a little bit to get to that point. Most people, you have to understand, like, that's the NFL. Like, this is not college football, right? There's no 25 and 30-point favorites in a football game in the NFL. So even though it ended, it didn't start like that, it ended like that because those teams play high-level football as well and have really good players. But at the end of the result, a 35-point victory, I'll take any day, and twice on Thanksgiving if you give it to me.
The Cowboys have one of the best teams in the NFL. Tony Romo was throwing out the word Super Bowl over and over during the game yesterday, and I agree with him. Now, we will have a challenge with that because the challenge is, while you have played on the whole better football than maybe anyone in the NFC, it doesn't matter if you end up as a wild card team, and it'll be a really hard road to try to get the job done, but you've got a really good football team. You have a really good football team that could absolutely go to and win the Super Bowl.